Hey look, the PlayStation Drive is starting. While you wait, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon on YouTube to be notified of future goodness. If you enjoy our show, we'd love it if you gave us a 5-star review or rating on your podcast service of choice. To continue the conversation, join the Carpool Gaming Discord, where you can find a wholesome community to have a chit-chat with. For some exclusive content, you can also support us on Patreon. And finally, don't forget to check out the Carpool Gaming website for an awesome range of merch. Links to all that and more are in the show notes, but without further ado, let's get revved up for the PlayStation Drive. Whoa!
What's up, everybody? Welcome on in. This is the PlayStation Drive, episode 184. I'm one of your hosts, Ryan, and I'm joined tonight by Fulia and Ron. How are you both doing on this lovely, lovely Monday morning or Sunday evening, whichever you prefer?
We're doing good.
Yeah, trying to stay cool over here.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Can we?
Really
do you want to switch places, Fulia? Because it's like mine is 15 here.
Well, it is currently 33 out here with thunderstorms and overcast. So
that's not even the worst. Like, not even that bad. It could be 40.
What is that in Fahrenheit?
I'm sorry. It's probably going to be reaching that at some point. It was that yesterday. It's going to be a top of 37 today.
My God.
I don't know what that is.
There's still time.
I don't. I'll have to look it up.
I was gonna say 40 degrees is pretty close to is a little over 100.
Yeah.
You in that?
So it's like 90s. I'm in the 90s.
South territory now.
Yeah.
Hate it when
not only that,
like
but it's probably humid like crazy to there too. So.
Well, not really, 29%, but it's still,
that's
still
not
kind of high. Yeah.
Yeah. I just assumed since you're on a giant island that it would probably be like really humid because the water is kind of everywhere.
Ryan, please.
I mean, technically North America is on a giant island too, so. God. I'm so glad we were able to talk weather at the beginning of our podcast. Because I mean,
for you.
Thank you. I appreciate both of you. Because this is the PlayStation Drive, where apparently we talk about PlayStation sometimes when we're not talking about the weather. I just wanted to make a little note here that Matt is a little under the weather this week, but he hopefully will be back next week. But he wanted to say hello to all you lovely folks out there, and he has a little question later in the show, so we'll get to that in a little bit. But before we do that, I've been hearing this knocking at my front door ever since we started recording the show, just like knocking, like little taps like this. Housekeeping. So, of course, we've got new patrons over at patreon.com/Carpool Gaming. Of course, we've got 4 new patrons to talk about this week, which is pretty cool. We got Xbox Skittle, who joined at the 7-day free trial of the exclusive tier. We've also got Sir Knight, also at that 7-day free trial as well. And in fact, most people don't know, we have a 7-day free trial of our most popular tier, the exclusive tier, over on Patreon. If you've never tried it out before, or you're wondering, what is all this Patreon content? What does it entail? You can go over there, try it out for free for 7 days. And if you like it, maybe you stick around. We would love you if you did. So make sure to head on over to Patreon for that. We also got Big Dog 72, who upgraded to the $5 exclusive tier. I believe they were on the $1 tier before. Now they're on the $5 tier. Checking out all that exclusive content. So shout out to Big Dog 72. And of course, Riley King, who of course is in the chat tonight, watching us and the Grammys tonight. Also joining at the gold membership tier. So huge shout out to all of our brand new patrons over at patreon.com/Carpool Gaming. And of course, you can head on over there, just load up Netscape Navigator, type in the web address http://www.
Netscape Navigator?
Why would I not use Netscape Navigator?
What?
Wow, we're really rolling it back.
Wow.
I mean, I could have even said, well, you could just go to web crawler, type in Patreon. Of course, web crawler, the #1 search engine in the world. And then that'll get you there, You
took it back with that one.
What can I say? When Ron, when I first started using the internet back in 1995, Netscape Navigator was my browser of choice. I was a big fan.
Netscape Navigator was great at that time. I'm not gonna knock that. Yeah.
I mean, I remember like me and my brother Kyle, we would spend all night, trying to look up videos and pictures and stuff on the internet. Back then, if you wanted to look at a picture on the internet, you'd be waiting like 20 to 30 minutes for it to download sometimes.
Yeah.
So we decided we both love hockey and we wanted to go see this video about Patrick Waugh, who was a goalie for the Montreal Canadiens, famous goalie, showing off his basement tour. It was like a minute-long video at like 240p resolution.
Wow.
And we were like waiting all night to watch it because it took 7 hours to download the video. And when we finally watched it, it was like a little like 1 minute tour of Patrick Waugh's basement. It's when Kyle and I were just like, dude, that was the coolest thing ever.
Dial-up was a thing. I don't know how we got through it.
Yeah,
Well,
right.
That's the thing, though. I really didn't have dial-up for very long because in my small town, we were the very first household in town to get cable internet. So I maybe only had dial-up for 3 months, and then it was straight to cable internet.
Lucky you. Lucky you.
Must be nice.
I know, right, Koala?
I know.
Some of us was on the struggle bus.
using that cable internet so I could use Netscape Navigator so I could build my GeoCities webpage.
Oh, GeoCities, yeah.
Yeah. I had a
Okay.
guest book. I had, snow. I had frames on it when frames became a thing. Oh man, I could talk about it. I love that this totally derailed us, by the way, from housekeeping. So,
Yep.
of course, we have to shout out all of our new content over on Patreon. Of course, Bowser's Pants episode is out right now. Go listen to it. It just came out this morning from the time we're recording this. And then the next episode of Pants will actually be Seth this week. So make sure if you've got questions for Seth, the bearded one, make sure to head on over to Patreon Monday morning and then throw your questions in. And also, just throwing it out there, you don't even have to be a patron to ask questions for the Pants podcast. You can simply just go to patreon.com/carpoolgaming, sign in with a Patreon account, which is free, and then you just post a question. So you can do that. And then, of course, speaking of Seth, we've got a new episode of Campfire that came out this week featuring Matt and Seth, and you make sure to check that out over on the Patreon as well. Also, real quick, we also have on the Patreon feed, speaking of Matt, his 1,000-time resist review is out right now as well. He did kind of like an extra mile, like solo review of 1,000 times resist. So if you want to hear him talk about that a little bit more, we put that up on the Patreon. And also on YouTube, we actually put up a Backtrackers 2024 year in review video. In case you didn't know, the Backtrackers is our video game book club that happens in our Discord, which is free to join, by the way. People can just hop into the Discord, which is free to join as well, and just hang out and play the games that are part of the Backtrackers. So they kind of did like a year of review of all the games they played in 2024. So it's an interesting video. Make sure to check that out on the YouTube. And of course, Sean just chimes in and says, so much content. Yes.
All of the
I've been
content.
reading this for like 7 minutes, Sean. There's so much content to read. So make sure to check all of it out over on Patreon and, of course, YouTube. But without further ado, friends, let's grab our 8 tracks, pop them in. It's time for the playlist. Time to talk about the games that we played this week, starting with you, Ron. What did you play? You're the only one who has this blank on the sheet, so I have no idea what this could possibly be.
I think you're mistaken with your eyes, sir. I did have something there.
But now it's blank. So now I'm...
Well, somebody must have crossed me out. But it's fine. It's only one game. It's still Act 3 of Baldur's Gate. So,
Okay.
Yeah, still working my way through that. Still, that map is massive. Still coming across more quests as soon as I get to certain sections, which is fine with me. This is fine with me. I'm not complaining at all. I'm enjoying this game. Koala, you will be extra proud of me. When it came down to making a decision about the romance, I didn't take the side piece. I decided to do the right thing.
Okay.
It was difficult, but I was like, you know what? No.
Your character's in
You,
a monogamous relationship, Ron?
I know,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I did the right thing. I was like, it was very difficult. I had to think about it for a few minutes, and I was like, no, I'm going to stick to what I plan on doing. So there we are. Just for you.
Question from the chat. Riley King asks, how many hours are you into Baldur's Gate 3, Ron? Just ballpark.
I want to say I think it was about like 126, something like that.
Jesus Christ.
That is a lot.
Obviously, I think I'm doing pretty good. Matt Kennedy, he has 250 and he's not even done with the game. So I think I'm pretty good for 120 something in Act 3. So I think I'm doing all right.
It's a very long game, Fulia.
Oh, jeez.
It is a lot. It's a lot to do.
I also love this comment from Sean who says, I can't wait to hear what's in Ron's front log. And it's just like, when is this game ever ending?
Prepare yourself for disappointment, Sean.
I was going to say, Ron, the one person on the panel here whose game is decided via wheel and not by him.
Yeah. Well, sometimes.
Most times.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Sometimes
Exceptions, loopholes come in.
It's not exceptions and loopholes. Just sometimes.
I was going to say, Ron was smart when he built his wheel thing, where it's like, it's not built with exceptions. It's just like, we're going to play games from the wheel, but when certain games come first.
Falcom's right there. Yeah. Sister Sleeper's probably going to sit there and get skipped as well. That's for sure.
Interesting. I love that you converted Riley King to the wheel too, because now he's bowing down to the wheel. And
he did.
I saw on Discord the transformation is complete. So
it's a fantastic way to handle the backlog. Just say it.
Yeah.
Riley understands.
Yeah. All right, Fulia. What about you?
Yep.
What'd you play?
So, unfortunately, I didn't get to play anything on the PlayStation, which is very sad.
Sorry.
However, I have been playing some games. All of them indie, by the way. So first one I want to mention is Shashingo Learn Japanese with Photography. So that one you can play. It's available on Steam and Nintendo Switch. And essentially you're going around a kind of like a make-believe city of Japan, kind of like a Tokyo-esque kind of a look. And you go around, you take photos of objects and, animals and whatever. And then you make flashcards using those particular photos, and it'll tell you the Japanese word in English letter form. It'll also give you the Japanese script that you'll get, and it's actually really cool. It's very simple. It's kind of like a walking simulator photography-based game with Japanese kind of thrown into it. So I'm kind of enjoying that. Definitely not a game to use as a way to learn Japanese as a whole. It's more of if you're taking classes or if you're doing something a little bit more serious, this is kind of like a good little side quest kind of a game. You can use it as a way to remember some words or to learn a few basic stuff. It's very basic.
It's there to complement your skills, not to develop them. Exactly. They do have like a little quiz system that once you have a number of words, a number of photos that you've taken and words you've accumulated as in a list, you can do like a little memory test kind of quiz where you go around the city and try to find those objects that the word is associated with. The thing is, though, it is timed. And the walking pace in the game is quite slow. Interesting.
So you need to accurately know where these things are, but also remember what the English word of that Japanese word is, so you can go and find it.
Because you're on the clock. You got to go
exactly.
fast. Like Sonic.
Exactly. Yeah. So I've been enjoying that as a way, just kind of like, I know I haven't been going Japanese classes for the past year now, coming up. But it's like a nice way for me to remind myself of some of the words I already know. There's also a little section in the journal or the album actually, where you can go back and learn, go through like phrases, including like greetings and basic introductions and all that sort of stuff. So that's there. They also have a section where you can reference the hiragana and katakana alphabet, which is good for me because that's the alphabets that I have learnt. But also they use kanji in a lot of the signage because that's what you'll mostly see if you do go to Japan. It's mostly kanji.
Yep.
So yeah, it's a really good game in terms of just getting a basic understanding of some of the Japanese words that you'll come across.
Yeah. And I know from traveling in Japan too that like some of that stuff might have been even helpful to someone like me to find out because when we flew into Kagoshima, like all the street signs were in kanji, and I'm like, oh no, where do we even go? because it's not like that everywhere. It's like I think like the closer you get to Tokyo, the less you see that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's just like that. I'm listening to you talk about that. I'm like, man, it sounds like even though you talked about like it's not a good place for beginners to start. I'm like, man, some of that knowledge could have been pretty useful.
I mean, it is a good place to kind of start if you just want to learn basic words, just so that if you are by chance in Japan, you need like directions or you trying to find out what things are, you can at least know what some of those words are, which is really interesting. But other than that, like it's just a cute little game where you can just sort of, just walk around and learn words as you go and just take some really cool photos. And there are filters that you can collect as well. So there's a little gachapon system where if you collect enough coins, depending on how well you master the words, you'll get coins so that you can use on the gachapon, the capsule machines, and then you can get filters for your camera, which is also a really cool little extra piece to that. Also, what I've been playing, I played this on Xbox thanks to the publishers. I got Botti, Byteland, Overclocked. Now, this is a cute little 3D platformer where you are a little bot inside of a computer, I'm going to say it is, like the land of a computer.
Okay.
There's a little overarching story to it, and it's really cute and adorable. And you're just sort of navigating through the insides of this computer. You come across viruses and you're trying to battle them. So it's a great little 3D platformer. So I've been really enjoying that particular game. The only thing... Yes, Ryan.
I was about to ask, though, before you get into your thing, I didn't know you had more to it, is it like the hit 90s cartoon Reboot, which is all about characters living inside computers? I'm
sorry?
Y'all don't even know that show. Oh, my God. Reboot is such a good show. Y'all need to go take a look.
I'm going to have to look this up
after.
later. Maybe if I see it, I'll recognize it. The name's not ringing a bell, though.
Because it's basically about like this small town, this like city that exists inside a computer system, and all of the characters are kind of represent like different programs or different aspects of the computer, and they have to deal with viruses, as well as like games which threaten to wipe out the computer systems. I did not know that was the name
of that show. Okay.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw the image, I was like, okay, I'd
Ron
recognize this.
understands now. Oh man. Anyways, Fulia, please continue because that's all I was thinking about by that description.
Ryan's been taking it back on this show.
Reboot, NetSuite, Navigator. What kind of old person reference am I going to come up with next?
Wow. Well, you are guided by a 0 and 1 bot. So like little micro bots, I assume they are. Because Botti is like a little baby bot that's just sort of been born into this place. So it's really cute. It's very colorful. My issue with it, and I don't know if it's just a bug that I came across and it's only on the Xbox. I feel like it's only on the Xbox because every time I got to a cutscene or every time I got to a checkpoint, like a save point, or whenever I died and it reverted me back to a save point, it would bring up the Xbox Game Pass menu. Hey, if you don't have Game Pass,
I see.
Please, you can sign up to Game Pass every damn time.
Interesting.
And it was a very, very annoying bug that I came across that it got and I streamed this game. So not only was it annoying for me, I would assume that the viewers were also not having fun with it either. Because I was really enjoying the game. But every time this thing, the Game Pass menu popped up, I was like, come on, I just want to play the game. Don't do this. But it just kept doing it every time. Every time I died, every time there was a cutscene, and I'm just like, oh, jeez, this is so annoying.
This is just their way of trying to sell you on Game Pass.
Yeah, maybe Phil wants you to come back to the fold. Phil wants you to come back.
Yeah.
It was very persistent.
Yeah,
that's
treat it
for
like an ad. Just keep bombarding her with it. She'll sign up for it.
I've hated it so much that I'm just like, I am not going back to that game now until they patch it up because it just keeps it breaks the momentum of the playthrough. And I just want to be able to just sit there and play through it all. And it's a really cute game. I was really enjoying it. But when that kept happening, I was like, oh, well, there's no way of me finishing this if that's what's going to continue happening. So I'm just going to have to wait for a patch.
Is the game in Game Pass? Because I haven't looked it up, but because it's possible that the reason it's doing that is like the game's in Game Pass and it's probably trying to tell you, hey, you don't need to pay for this. It's in Game Pass. But
But
I'm
I
just
was
curious about
provided a code.
I know. It's silly. I know you were provided because you mentioned that.
It shouldn't have to be like that.
Because in theory, Fulia, if you're playing the game anyways, you've probably already bought it, right? Like you're probably not playing a trial or a demo anyways.
You can always call Phil. Call Phil and ask him.
Yeah, because I've seen that happen before with other games on Xbox, and it's not a bug. That's just the way Xbox designs their interface.
Yeah, okay.
With certain games
That's
that
a
are
bit
in
annoying.
Game Pass, if you play them and you don't have Game Pass.
Let me see. Botty is not on Game Pass by the looks of things.
Oh, so I don't know why it's even trying to sell you on Game Pass. Then.
Exactly.
That's so weird.
I don't understand either. Like, I think you can't. I don't even know. Is it even out yet?
Oh, that's true. Because you probably got an early copy, or
Yeah,
it might have just come out this week.
no, I think it should be. It should be out. I'm pretty sure because it's on. You can it is on the Xbox app. I'm just not sure.
Well, anything like unreleased games end up there. Anyways, I should look this up. You
Anyway.
keep talking.
Yeah, but yeah. So that was a really cute game. Apart from that bug that I came across, and then the last thing that I played that I've actually been really enjoying, which I started up yesterday, was Rolling Hills. My little sushi bot maker, the little sushi simulator restaurant with the bot. It's really cute. I love it. And I've been playing it on my Steam Deck, and it runs really well on the Steam Deck. And after playing it on stream last night before heading to bed, I was like, I'm just going to chill for an hour. I'm gonna play Rolling Hills, and it's adorable. You're a little bot that manages a little sushi restaurant in a small town. This town is trying to develop and become a bit more popular. So as the popularity of the sushi restaurant gets, then more visitors visit the town, and you get to meet all these really cute little characters where they provide you. You can get some furniture for your restaurant. You can also there's another place where you go to the market so you can buy ingredients for your sushi recipes. You can upgrade the recipes so that you can get more profits out of them. And some of them also, it's kind of a little bit of an RPG as well, because they also have different effects so that depending on the ingredients you add to the sushi recipes, it'll either help with keeping the customer fuller so that they don't have to order as much, or they're a bit more patient, which means certain furniture items will also help with that. They can bring in more profits, like a vending machine or a gachapon. You can have a couch in there for relaxation, or plants to help the customers be a bit more patient. And because the more popular you get, the more customers are going to come in, and you're the only bot running this restaurant. So you are constantly going up and down trying to serve all these customers. The good thing is you're not making the sushi. You're not making it. You're just serving it. That is it. You're only serving it. The other thing that you have to do is you have to clean up after the customers. So you've got to, wipe down the benches. These customers are also very rude. They litter. When they're done, as they're leaving, they just, throw their trash behind them as they're leaving. The goal of them to look back at you as you go there to clean. I'm like, excuse me?
This sounds like a normal restaurant job to me.
One person in the
on
restaurant?
On the floor, not on the table. The table I get, at least then I can clean up and wipe it down. On the floor.
Once again, have you not worked in a restaurant before, Fulia?
No, I've never worked in hospitality.
Because when I used to work at Subway, because I worked there for 3 years, it was my very first job. That used to happen a lot, where people would just throw shit on the floor. Sorry for swearing.
People are messy. That is true.
Yeah, people would just litter and just throw stuff everywhere, and then just be like,
I don't like it.
That's why that poor bot should not be working alone.
Yeah,
there should be other bots there.
Because Ron, when I worked at Subway, I worked alone. Especially when I worked the evening shift, I would be the only one there.
Oh,
so I'd have to make out the subs for people and clean the plates.
Wow.
And it was always a thing. So yeah,
I couldn't imagine. I worked at Burger King when I was in high school, and we had plenty of people there. I could not do that.
I was
solo.
gonna say that's one of those restaurants where they actually have multiple employees. Whereas like most Subways, like you get like one, maybe two people, unless it's like one of the super busy locations or something.
I don't know. For some odd reason, the subways are always packed here, but I don't know why.
Not in Canada.
Huh. That's interesting.
Yeah, not so much here in Australia either.
By the way,
It is substandard.
Oh my god. Fulia, I have an answer for your question about Body. That game actually comes out on the 6th, so this week.
Oh, well, there you go. That's probably why. So maybe I'll wait
It
until
hasn't
after
been
it's
patched
released.
yet. Yeah. Wait till the retail release, and then you're good to go.
Yeah.
All right, awesome.
Cool.
That works out well. But yeah, that's pretty much what I've been playing.
Nice.
Yeah, that's it.
Nice.
Yes, Ron?
I've noticed that there's been a lack of updates on Dragon Age. I'm assuming that Dragon Age has been tossed to the side
Here we
or
go.
into the abyss.
No. Don't do this. Don't do this. You did this with friggin' Astrobot. You did this.
Those poor BioWare employees, they slaved on that game, and look how you keep their game.
I will get back to it. I will. It has not been shelved or anything. It's just I've been busy. I haven't had time. Okay, give me a break.
Not busy enough, apparently. You've been playing plenty of games.
On stream? Hello?
I'm just going to read this comment from Sean here and not comment on it.
Sean, please.
For the audio listener, Sean Capri chimes in. It's almost like Dragon Age wasn't interesting enough to keep you playing.
I will go back to it. I will.
To be fair, I know that you were actually liking it, whereas Sean was bored by it. So
Well, she only played like the first 30 minutes of the game.
yeah,
Hour and a half.
that's triple the time you quoted, Rob.
Exactly.
Anyways, I'm going to say this here and move the show
Thank
along,
you.
because I, like Fulia, only played 50% of my games this week on PlayStation, because I only played 2 games this week, but I finished both of them, so at least that kind of counts for something. So first off, I wanted to play Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, because everyone's talking about this Donkey Kong Country, Returns HD game, but I can't buy games this year. So I was like, okay, well maybe this is the perfect time for me to actually play Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze for the first time, because I played it on Wii U, but I never finished it, and I kind of put it down halfway through because I was like bored with the game back then. But this time around, I had a lot more fun with it. I actually can finally say that I have rolled credits on Tropical Freeze. I liked it a lot. My only critique really is that some of the boss fights just take forever, and there are no checkpoints. So if you die on one of the bosses, and you've been fighting it for 3.5 minutes, you basically have to start over from the beginning. And I hated that, especially because there was like this underwater boss that you fight, which of course, can we talk about swimming controls in video games? Because swimming controls are never good or never precise in a lot of video games. And in Tropical Freeze, there's a underwater boss that you have to fight that takes about 8 minutes to finish, because of you going through its mechanics and stuff like that. But the controls totally fail you because they're like very, very imprecise and clunky when you're underwater, which led me to almost throw my controller across the room because I was that frustrated, because I understood the mechanics very clearly like 20 minutes into fighting this boss. But after the 3-hour mark of trying to attempt to beat this boss, I was just like, forget it, and just put down to the controller because I was just so frustrated by the underwater controls of that game. But then literally the next morning, I then booted it up and did it first try. No issues. So maybe my frustration was getting the better of me a little bit. So that's kind of helpful in that game. And I guess that's kind of like a Retro Studios thing, because Retro Studios also does the Metroid Prime games. And the bosses in Metroid Prime are kind of like that too, where they go on a little too long. So I think that they kind of carried that DNA across all their games. So again, Tropical Freeze, I think, is a really, really good 2D platformer. I only wish the boss fights were a little bit shorter, but otherwise I really enjoyed it from what I played. But the game I played on PlayStation this week, I finally did it, Fulia. I played Life is Strange Double Exposure on the PlayStation 5. Of course, this is the newest Life is Strange game, where we see the return of the protagonist from the first game, Max Caulfield, and reviews were kind of mixed for this game. I know you and I looked at both of the reviews fully, and like people were like all over the place with this game. Yeah. But I have to tell you, I actually like this game a lot. I thought it was really
it's good.
Yeah, I really, really enjoyed the story this time around. it's not perfect, and I definitely think like when I kind of like rank the Life is Strange stories, I definitely think the first one's still my favorite. Then True Colors, then Double Exposure is kind of where I put this one. Above Before the Storm, and then Life is Strange 2 is kind of where I kind of put this one.
Before the Storm is down toward the bottom? What?
Yeah, I thought it was okay. Well, it's more of a testament to how much I liked True Colors and the first one, more than it having a problem. Because Life is Strange 2 is really the only one where I was like, I had mixed feelings about the narrative. Because there were things I liked about it, but things I didn't love. Whereas Double Exposure, I think its only major gripe from me is that, we've got this town of Lakeport that's brand new. It's in Vermont, that Max is in. But unlike the original Life is Strange, you don't really get to see the town itself. You really are kind of like contained on like this new kind of college campus that she's at, or Max's house, or this bar that they frequent. You're kind of going between those three locations and nowhere else. Like, it's not like the first game where you're going to the junkyard, or you're going to the diner, or you're not going to explore like the other parts of Arcadia Bay. Because it felt like in that first game, or even in True Colors, like the location in True Colors in Colorado, which the name I'm just blanking of the town that's there, like those almost felt like characters to me in a way that like, if I didn't try and remember this for this podcast, I would have totally forgotten that the name of Lakeport, or that Lakeport was even a thing. I wouldn't be able to tell you anything about it, really. Yeah. I could tell you a lot about Caledon, the university that Max kind of teaches at, because that feels like its own character. But I wish like you got to maybe go explore a little bit more, or go have like a diverse set of locations. But this felt like a really, really personal story for Max, and it really connected with me as someone who loved the first game, and also someone who loves Max as a character, because it was so much like around her story. There's a ton of callbacks to the first game, which I love, and I know some people don't love some of the choices they made from the first game to kind of bridge it, to make it work for this, but I thought it was okay. Like, I didn't really mind a lot of that stuff that a lot of people didn't like about this one. So overall, like, if you're a Life is Strange fan and you liked the first one, like, I think if you haven't given this game a try, you should. Because I do think that Double Exposure is pretty good. I actually really liked it a lot. I liked where they went with the story. I loved the new powers this time around, because this time, instead of rewinding time, you're going between two different dimensions as you're trying to investigate the murder of one of your friends, which is like split the timelines in two, and you're trying to just figure out, why, and because she's alive in one of the timelines and dead in another one. Yeah. And I thought all that stuff was really cool. And I liked too that like every Life is Strange game is kind of giving us like different powers every time. Like they always usually have like a supernatural element to them, and you usually have powers of some kind, but I like that they're different every time. And I like these ones here. So.
No, I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. I actually like was expecting to like maybe be like, oh no, maybe this is like a Life is Strange 2 kind of thing, but no, I actually like this one a lot. So yeah, people should go play it. I know there's a trial on PlayStation Plus for it if people haven't played it yet. So anyways, that's enough about Life is Strange, Double Exposure, because that's in the rearview mirror, because it's time to shift into topic of the week. So we are now going to talk about our backlogs, the games that are in our backlogs, not our front logs, our backlogs. We're going to talk about what games we plan on playing at some point or another. Who knows when? Because that's the magic of backlogs. Games can live on backlogs forever. And, we'll play them one day. We'll get there. But we're going to start with Ron. Tell us about some games on your backlog, man.
The heavy hitter ones that everybody is crazy about is the games like Cyberpunk and Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, the Gears trilogy, the Halo trilogy, Metaphor, of course, Final Fantasy 16.
Oh my God, that's so many games, Ron.
Yeah. These are just the heavy hitters. I mean, there's like 50 something on just the mighty wheel, and then the regular wheel is like, I don't know, probably like 80 something. But those are like the heavy hitting ones that are on the mighty wheel.
Interesting.
Okay.
And of course, you should define the fact that for people that are new that you have two wheels. You have a mighty wheel and then like a normal wheel.
So last year, when Ryan kept talking about all the great games that he was talking about, from Metaphor especially is what really pushed me over the edge and did it. I initially had just one wheel with all my games on it. But after Ryan kept talking about all the hits that he was playing, I was just like, I need to start trying to find a way to guarantee I get to a few blockbusters, at least throughout the year. So I pretty much made a wheel. I took all the games that had scored at least a mighty rating on OpenCritic, and I put them all on that one. And I'll just take a turn, I'll spin one, and then I'll spin the other. So that way I can guarantee I get to a blockbuster, at least one a year. But yeah, that had to happen. Yes, Koala.
How do you know which game came from which wheel after you've chosen it and finished playing it?
I just remove it from the wheel once I finish it. Actually, once it's chosen, I already take it off the wheel. So
yeah, which means how do you remember which one you've picked it from?
yeah.
Well, I was going to say, I don't think the games appear across both wheels at this point.
Yeah, they sure don't. So only the games that are on that mighty rating is just on that mighty wheel. I don't got them on both.
Okay, no, just for like in my if it was me, I'd forget which one I got. Picked
Nah, I'm not gonna forget. And plus, if I do, OpenCritic is always there, so I can just look to see was this a mighty game. But no, I'm not gonna forget though.
Okay.
Interesting. Fulia, tell us about some of the games on your backlog.
Oh my goodness, I've got so many games in my backlog. Well, I say so many games, and I've been putting all of my games into my backlogged account, and my backlog at the moment is sitting at a 68.
That's light work.
Games.
That's light work. Come on, Koala. I thought you was gonna say like 200 or something like that.
However, that's only the games that I've thought about recently that I've added in. There might be more that I haven't added.
Okay, that's more like
I've forgotten about. I will say, I'm going to say maybe 50%, roughly 50% of these are going to be indie games that are
So
sort
you
of
could knock these
varies
out this year if you
between
wanted to.
platforms. I mean, I could if I really wanted to. So, stuff like Abzu, Chicken Police, The Lost Campfire, they're kind of the ones that
was a good one.
Sort of big. Jusant was a recent addition to my backlog, and that's one that I really want to get to. Yeah. I've also got some big ones in here, like Kingdom Hearts 1.5 and 2.5 Remix.
Okay.
That's been there for a while.
It's been there for a while.
'Cause ever since we started the show, we talked about that game. You brought it up on the first episode we did together.
She'll get there.
Is that... I've still got Marvel Guardians of the Galaxy to get to.
Oh, I got that one too. Yeah.
Yeah. Now that I finished off Aiden Chronicles Rising, I've got Aiden Chronicles 100 Heroes to get to. I've got a lot of games in here. The bigger ones, the AAA or the AA games that are in there are ones that are on my PlayStation right now. Including a lot of like PlayStation exclusive games.
Interesting.
So
Do tell.
Yeah. Okay. So for those of you who aren't aware, I created a little poll, we'll say, on my socials, but to see what PlayStation game I should play next, like PlayStation exclusive game, that is, and. I'm going to tell you now. Let me tell you what games that I had listed on this poll. So I had Concrete Genie, Horizon Zero Dawn, Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 Remix, Loco Roco, Marvel's Spider-Man, and Uncharted 2 Among Thieves. Now I've played the first Uncharted, which is Drake's Fortune.
Yeah.
So it means the second one would be the next one to go with. As it stands, and I'm going to announce the winner of this poll.
Exclusive.
The winner is Horizon Zero Dawn.
Let's go.
I'm fine with this.
By one vote. By one vote. Over Uncharted 2.
Yeah. I voted for Uncharted 2, but I'm not mad at that. Horizon is outstanding. So
I'm gonna just tell you this. I saw that it was tied. And I made the final vote.
I mean, that doesn't hurt.
To be fair,
either one of those is great.
To be fair, I played Horizon earlier this year. We talked about this, and I really, really enjoyed going back to that one. So
Yeah.
I think you'll actually.
You couldn't have gone wrong with either one of those two, so you're good.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Oh, look, we got Riley booing us.
with that being said, I had also mentioned that the game that gets chosen will be the game I play on the Carpool Gaming Twitch channel. And I'm going to be playing it once a week until I roll credits. So that is now brought to my front log. Horizon Zero Dawn is now in my front log.
Koala, don't do this.
Don't do this.
God.
Don't go
I
down this slippery
understand
slope.
it. I understand it now.
No, there's nothing to understand. There's nothing to understand. We're
I'm
not
just
going to
gonna
do that here.
put this post right there.
Yes.
Just have
There
it
you
sit
go,
there.
Mitch.
Mitch
I
was
have
wondering
I have
when we were to
discussed
talk
it.
about front logs, and I specifically told them just wait. We'll talk about front logs at some point.
Oh, God.
Because if we don't talk about it now, we're going to talk about it again in a second, Ron.
Why do we have to talk about it at all?
I know. I agree.
So, yeah, they're my PlayStation exclusive games that I have in my backlog, and there's a lot of them. I've dabbled a little bit in Spider-Man. I kind of want to go back to it, but at this rate, I might have to just start from scratch because it's been at least over a year or two since I last touched it. And yeah, so same with Concrete Genie. I might as well just start from scratch with that one as well.
Matt is crying somewhere.
I know.
It's all right, little brother. She'll get to
Fine.
it.
It's fine.
Yeah. But like a lot of like I said, a lot of the games that are in my backlog are mostly going to be indie games that I'm going to get around to, hopefully. And considering the fact that I've decided to put myself in a bit of a challenge this year of only limiting myself to the number of games that I can purchase, I am happy to announce that I didn't purchase any games in January.
That's good.
So that's
All
good.
right.
I made it through January without having to buy any games. So
Interesting.
What she's not telling you is that she's going to make up for it in February and buy all the games.
The hilarious thing, Fulia, is the fact that you didn't buy any games in January, whereas I have a 6-month streak of no buying games, and I bought more games in January than you did.
no,
'Cause I
wow.
kept because there was in my thing, it was I had 2 games already pre-ordered and paid for,
Yeah.
and 1 came in last month.
Right.
So that technically is a game I bought, even though I had already paid for it last year. So there's that.
Yeah. So there's that. Yeah.
Yeah. Tales of Grace's F, by the way, is that game. I haven't played it yet. But as for me, first of all, if people are curious what's on my backlog, it's always available over at backlogged.com. Just follow me, Ryan Turford, over here.
Yeah.
Because I put all my backlog games
Yeah,
on
that's
here
where I
under
got
my
mine
backlog
too.
session.
Yeah.
Yep,
Now, mind you,
same
this
here.
isn't all the games. These are the games that are like at the forefront of the backlog. And of course, Ron, I'm just gonna
I
zoom in
see.
on this one right here. Trails
I
through
also
Daybreak.
see Yeez 8 over there. Nice. Nice.
Yes. Yeah, given I told you before, I want to try more Falcom games this year. So those are the 2 I kind of picked out. So
I see the RPG goat, The Witcher. Oh,
yeah,
yes.
yeah. I promised Garrett I would give it another chance this year. So I'm going to give it another chance this year because I do have this over here. I've shown this on the show before. This is my 2025 video game goals checklist of games that I want to give second chances to this year because that's kind of like a big theme for me for the first 6 months of the year since I can't buy games. It's giving me taking the time to revisit a bunch of games. That's why I played Tropical Freeze as an example because it was a game that I'd given up on Wii U and wanted to give it a second chance, especially since I'd had the Switch copy of Tropical Freeze on my shelf for like 3 years now, and it's been unopened. So I finally opened it and played it. So this checklist is coming along, but like there's some stuff, for example, like I didn't want to play the Zelda games right away because I just came off, Echoes of Wisdom, wanted to have a little bit of time there, and then a lot of these are, playing Star Wars Outlaws, which I kind of like dropped pretty quickly last year. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, same kind of deal. But Dragon Quest III HD 2D, I was really excited to play it last year, but it kind of came out when all the other games were coming out, so I didn't get a chance to play it. And then, of course, Ys 8, as well as some other stuff are on here as well. So that's kind of thing. But then I have even something crazier than that, Ron. I have the wheel that I put together last year of all the games that are actually what my true backlog really looks like. And this isn't even the true backlog because there's even more than what's here. So this is a giant spreadsheet here of what my wheel was last year. I've already removed from it the games that I've played this year. And I'm just gonna keep scrolling.
Oh my goodness.
Gonna just keep scrolling.
I see the size of the
Holy
bar on the
Just gonna
side.
keep scrolling.
God,
Gonna keep scrolling. I'm gonna keep scrolling. There's 168 games on here,
Wow.
and there's actually more than what's here in my backlog. So in my true, what I refer to as the true backlog.
there's a few of those
Holy
on there
moly.
that you have on that list that I already in mind.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to remove Neva from here because I already.
Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead, just take that out of there.
Yeah, I did already play Neva.
Hey,
Don't ever play it.
Ron.
Don't ever play it.
Shush.
But Ron, Balan Wonderworld is on this list, so
Oh.
maybe I should get to it at some point.
See, you like
Ballad
pain.
Wonderworld.
You're like,
Yeah, Phantasmagoria is on here. Ninja Blade, Infinite Undiscovery,
Internal Sonata. Yes.
Clive Barker's Jericho.
The last story?
Yeah, I haven't played the last one.
Why?
Why not? I was
Yeah,
the
you
one
might
who
as well
told
try
Sean
it.
he should play it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he might as well try
Go
it.
through what Sean did?
yeah. You never know. I might actually like
He
it.
might enjoy it. He might.
Yeah, I mean, I've never played Mario 64. It's on the true
Oh,
backlog.
neither have I.
Yeah.
Mario Sunshine can just go.
Yeah. You think I can just
Wow.
remove it?
Mario Sunshine was okay.
Yeah.
Nah.
But Princess
sorry.
Peach Showtime though, that'll stay, right? I can't remove that one. Got to leave Princess Peach Showtime on here. The Jack and Daxter games are on here. Dragon Quest 11.
That first one's really great. After that, I was done with Jack. That took a turn.
Yeah. Riley King asked the question, you've never played Mario 64? I have played the first hour of Mario 64 and never went back to it.
I have not played it at all.
But I also didn't grow up with an N64. Like, there's going to be a
Me
lot of
either.
N64 games on this list here simply because I didn't have an N64 growing up.
Oh, Control's there. Excellent. Yes.
I've never played Control. So
Control's
that's there.
outstanding.
I can remove Residence of Fate.
Hogwarts Legacy.
Hogwarts
That's on
Legacy,
mine as
I
well.
wanted to play it. Jedi
Right, I've been
Survivor.
surprised. Grandia and
Sea of
Grandia
Stars.
2. Have you never played those at all?
I've never played them at all.
Oh, man. Okay.
Yeah. I have the PlayStation 1 versions on my PS5 and want to try them at some point.
Yeah. Grandia,
Especially because I like
Grandia.
Lunar.
Grandia's, whew, that's great.
Yeah. Well, I love Lunar, and they're made by the same company, so I do want to play it at some point. Alone in the Dark PS3. That's a great one that everyone loves. Ease 10 is also on this list, Ron.
Yeah, saw
Because
that,
I actually
saw
own a
that.
copy of that game, despite the fact that I've never played it. The Donkey Kong Country games on Super Nintendo. I haven't really played through those. There's a lot of stuff on what
Vanishes
I
is
refer
on
to
mine
as
as well. So, yeah, that's a nice little list there.
Yeah. Also, I'll just highlight this one for Matt specifically, The Last of Us Part 2. Because I said it on the show before, but I have never played past the first hour of The Last of Us Part 2.
That's a blessing in disguise. That's a
Yeah.
blessing.
I should probably play it at some point, though.
You might as well. Go ahead and get it over with.
Yeah. And of course, right
Xenoblade
below
Chronicles
it.
2 is on there too. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm actually
It
very
hurts.
close to removing this one, Ron, because I removed it from the current backlog. And but it still exists here.
I think you should.
this space.
Just go ahead and just toss some of these to the trash. Put it
Yeah,
in
you think I
the
should just get
recycling
rid of
bin.
it? What do you think?
Just get that right out of there.
Yeah.
You don't
okay.
need to play
I'll
that.
listen
You
to it.
got better things to play on this list.
Yeah, like I've got Cheetah Men on Sega Genesis to play instead. So why not? Why not? Why keep
Neon White's still there?
that? I've never played it.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I
need
didn't.
to
I
play
didn't
it.
join the Neon White movement, and of course, the biggest outlier here is I've talked about it on many times before.
Grease.
It's just Zelda because I've never played any of the Zelda games.
Well, you could play Grease on a night that you're feeling a little sleepy, and that'll
Hey.
help you get right to bed.
Hey.
Yep.
Excuse me.
But yeah, this is just this. Like I said, this is the second shortest list. There is also like the true backlog of everything I wanted to play. That is
that's
even longer.
not it.
Yeah, there's only 165
Wow.
games
Final
here. but
Fantasy
I think-
12's on that one. I need to go back to that one also.
Holy
so,
moly.
I played through Final Fantasy 10 this year. That can be removed too.
12.
All right.
Yeah, but 12 is here.
Yeah.
So, but like the Darkness 2, like that's a game I really wanted to play on 360, but because I love the
That
first
one was
one, but
alright.
never got around to it. Condemned Criminal Origins. Sean talks about it all the time. but I
Condemned
just
was
never
really
played it.
good. Condemned was
Yeah.
really good.
Starfield. I've mostly been waiting for Starfield to just come to PlayStation and just play
Yeah,
it then.
that's what I'm going to wait for that.
And I'll play Indiana Jones this summer when it comes to PlayStation.
I'm looking
Like,
forward
that's
to
on
that
my
one.
list to play this year too. So, yeah, that's my giant list there. Because I kind of want to do like a new another tournament bracket this week. I've been
Okay.
jonesing to kind of find out what to play next, and I kind of want to hear what the people have to say. So that'll probably be pulled from that list, probably. So
Interesting.
there you go. Those are what's on our backlog. But let's hear from some of the PlayStation Drive community. Because, first of all, I'll start with actually Cwaggy's question. I'm just going to skip over this first question first for a second. So Cwaggy says, "It is I, the Cwaggy, king of the Xenobabes." Because Cwaggy, of course, outlines the games on his backlog. So PlayStation games I have in my backlog: Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, God of War 2018, and Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection. However, what I have in my front log is The Last of Us Part 1. My question for you all, in addition to what's in your backlog, what's in your front log? So, Ron, tell us what's in your front log now that Fleur has told us that
I don't have a front log. I don't have a front log. What does that even mean? What does that even mean?
It's the game you're gonna get to soon.
No, then
That's
just call
what the
it
front
that.
log is.
No, that's not what the front log is mean.
I still feel like
It's
that's
a
technically part of your backlog.
No, but you're bringing it to your front log because you're about to play it.
No. All you have
It's
to do is
coming
say
to
this is
the
what I'm
front
currently playing, and
of
this is
the
what I'm
list.
playing next. No.
I was just going to say, that's why I have tiers of backlogs, but I have no front log.
Why is this a carpool thing? Why is carpool just have to sit there and just make stuff up? I mean, what
Because
the hell?
it's fun.
Front log's whack.
People we hate fun.
You heard it here first, peeps.
I kind
Apparently
of,
the
Front log is whack. It's lame. I'm not gonna be a part of it.
I mean, that's the thing. It would be very hard for Ron specifically to be part of the front log movement anyways. Because what the
Exactly.
heck is the wheel going to pick for his front log?
Well, I can tell you what I'm gonna play next. I'm playing next. It's gonna be the Trails Through Daybreak 2. After I
Well,
finish
because by the
Baldur's
time
Gate
you're
3.
done Baldur's Gate, that game will be out.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Well,
playing
apart-
next.
But then, so that technically is your front log then, because that is what you're
No,
playing next.
no,
Yeah,
no.
exactly.
I'm not doing that. I'm not
Exactly.
doing that mess. I'm not doing that mess. Keep that crap away from me.
Wow. Well, apart from Horizon Zero Dawn, which everybody will have the privilege of seeing me actually play,
Yeah.
Dragon Age.
I've also my next game that I'll be playing is an indie game called The Lost Campfire, which is on PlayStation. So I'm pretty sure Lochleth has played this game already, and she spoke highly of it. So
It's a good game.
I'm looking forward to checking it out. So that's something that I'm
Going
gonna
for
be
the
playing
platinum?
next. Depends on the trophy list. We'll see.
Yeah.
You're going for the platinum. You're going to go for
No, I didn't say that.
it. Yeah,
I mean,
because I have
with
it, and that passion's going to kick in. You're going to be like, I have to sit here and get this because Ron does.
I mean, I'm just going to throw it out there, Ron. I talked about Life is Strange Double Exposure earlier. The platinum trophy for this, the difficulty is 1 out of 10, and it takes 15 hours to get, and I've already sunk 10 hours into this game. And I'm not going for the platinum trophy because it would involve me playing the game twice, and I don't feel like doing that right now.
Oh,
so you
yeah,
never
no,
know.
thank you.
The
Yeah.
platinum trophy could be, no, so the platinum trophy very much within my grasp for that game. Because it's very easy. I could just play the game for another 5 hours since I already know the story, but I can't skip.
Oh, no,
it doesn't
playing
let you
it
skip the
twice, though.
cutscenes though.
Oh,
so
see,
you have to
I don't like
rewatch all
that.
the cutscenes again.
Yeah.
And
no.
I'm just like, forget it. And I'd basically be like, I might as well just wait until I'm in the mood to replay it, and then
Yeah.
just play it then for the platinum.
If you could skip the cutscenes, then I would say that's a maybe. Because Chicken Police was kind of like that, but you could skip all
Yeah.
the scenes.
Because there are things like there are multiple romance options in Double Exposure, and you can't do them all in one playthrough, or there are little things like that. So, yeah. So yeah, I think that might come into play with some of these games. Fully, it's not going to platinum either, because I see platinum trophies like that come up all the time, Ron, where they're actually pretty easy to get, but it involves playing through the game again, and I'm just like, I'm not doing that.
That's
Like
the first
Stellar
thing-
Blade.
That's the first way usually to get me out of a game. If I got to play it twice, no thank you.
Yeah, same. Multipass. That's what I would say. But as for me, what's in my front log? I don't know. I usually just pick what I usually was just
I don't know.
whatever I'm in the mood for is what I'll play, and I usually don't pick it ahead of time. Like this list that I showed you, the gaming goals checklist. I'm just picking from them as I feel like it, and if I don't play everything that's on there, I don't play everything that's on there. But it's just a guide for me to use to be like, all right, what games to remind myself what I decided I really want to do. But it's not really it's not really dictating what's coming next. If anything, I talked about it before. I kind of want to do like another tournament bracket either tomorrow or sometime this week, and then find out like what have other people tell me what to play, because sometimes I think that's fun. So that's more what's in my front log. I don't know. I usually don't pick games at a time, especially now where I'm not buying games until July. I don't really know what I'm going to play next. Because if I was buying games, I'd probably be able to tell you, oh, well, this is coming out soon, and this is coming out soon, and those are the games I'm kind of targeting. But yeah, who knows? Who knows? That's the fun. Next up, we got Final Fantasy VIII is Life, Final Fantasy VIII is Love, who asked the question, good morning, besties. Since World of Warcraft consumes much of my gaming time, my backlog is kind of crazy. My question is, pretend you know nothing about me. What franchise should I focus on in my backlog to get the most enjoyment possible? Now, Awesome Dave, we have no idea what franchises are in your backlog. And it actually, I think, and tell me if you two agree with me, I actually think it's even harder to recommend games for someone that you know nothing about versus someone that you know the type of games that they like.
Yeah, I agree.
I think for Dave, I think he would enjoy the Tales games. I think that Tales of Arise and Vesperia and Symphonia would be right up his alley if he hasn't played them. Because he's a Final Fantasy guy, I'm assuming that he likes RPGs a lot. So,
well, he also plays tons of World of Warcraft, which is also a role-playing game too.
He does, yeah. So I think that would be all right for him if he hasn't played them.
Yeah.
Baldur's Gate 3. Have fun.
That's true. Forget about all your World of Warcraft time. You'll be playing Baldur's Gate 3
Baldur's
instead.
Gate 3 is a very, very great choice.
Ron, you going for the platinum for Baldur's Gate 3?
Hell no.
I looked it up and I'm like, this is ridiculous.
No, thank you. After you told me all you looked up last week, no thanks.
Yeah. It's fine. It only takes about 300 hours to get, you know?
I am actually kind of curious how the developers come up with their trophy lists. Like, especially the big ones. Most specifically the big ones. The smaller, like, indie games and stuff, I get. That's fine. They're pretty simple to sort of get around. But the bigger ones, like, especially considering how big Baldur's Gate 3 is and from what everyone's saying, how big this trophy list is, I'm just like, how do they even come up with this trophy list?
Just stuff they probably just do when they're doing the whole bunch of play testing, and plus they want you to stay in the game. So they're like, here, just sit there and have all these and do all these crazy things over and over again.
Yeah, a lot of the big games are like they try and make you do all the off the beaten path kind of things to keep you playing.
Yeah.
So I think that's the motivation there behind it.
If I didn't have anything else to play, I would definitely probably sit there and actually play it through it multiple times, and I probably would go for the platinum. But
because it requires multiple playthroughs of Baldur's Gate 3, which is just crazy to think about.
Yeah, it's that great of a game. I would do it, but I just got other things I got to play.
Yeah. For Dave, believe it or not, the Tales games were ones I was going to recommend. But I'm trying to think of other RPGs, another RPG franchise that Dave might like. I'm going to say the Chrono games if you've ever played them. So Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross both. Okay. And I say both of them. I mean both of them because both I think are really good games. So
he might enjoy
like
the Divinity Original Sin games too. Maybe.
Yeah. I think it's tough just not knowing what's on Awesome Dave's backlog when he's actually played. So. McBeal, of course, asked an important question. When's the front log episode?
McBeal, stop this. You're such a menace. You're such a menace.
Yes.
McBeal, you just joined, but we literally just talked about that. So that's all.
Not all of us did. Not all of us did, McBeal.
Yeah. Well, you talked about how much you don't like it, which is fine too. That's a valid opinion. Next up, we got a question from Naga Chaka.
Hey.
Who's like,
Matto.
Hi there. First time, long time. What is the oldest game in your backlog? As in, it's been in your backlog for the longest time. And is 2025 the year that you play this game? Or will it be permanently abandoned to lighten your backlog? Thanks. Big fan of the show. So, Ron, what do you think the oldest game in the wheel is? Or what your backlog is?
I can tell you for sure. Phantasy Star 4 came out in February 1995. I never got a chance to play it when it first released. I still haven't had a chance to play it now. Maybe it'll happen this year. Maybe.
That's too bad, Ron, because I actually like that game a lot. You should play it.
I heard Phantasy Star 4 is great. I heard that is the prime of that franchise. So I'm looking forward to it.
It still holds up really well, too.
I heard. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to playing it.
Yeah. Nice. Fulia, what is the oldest game on your backlog? Do you know? The one that's been there the longest?
I'm having a look. And I have a feeling that the oldest game that's been sitting in my backlog for quite some time is Abzu.
Okay.
That's not too bad.
If
you wanted to cheat, you could actually organize your backlog by release date. Just to let you know for next time.
That's not the thing. Is though, not by release date for me though. Like for me, it's when
because
I
remember
added
this
it to
question's
my
asking
backlog.
not the oldest game, but like the game that's been there the longest.
It's been there the longest.
Backlog
okay.
the longest.
It's
Not
been there the
necessarily
longest.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna say I think Abzu's been in the backlog for a very long time, and I haven't gotten around to playing it because for whatever reason I've been putting it off. And I think every time I see a trailer for it, I'm like, am I going to get jump scares out of this? Is something going to come at me and eat me or something?
Absu's not like that.
No.
Everybody keeps saying it's a very chill diving game.
Yeah, it's like Journey underwater. It's fine.
That is exactly what I thought when I played Absu. It's so much like Journey.
Okay.
And I know how much you like Journey. So
yeah. All right.
Absu's
maybe
really good. You should play that.
Okay.
Also, I love McBeal just being like up these spread sheeting skills, but like McBeal clearly missed the part where we were going over my giant spreadsheet.
That's right, McBeal. You were a little late. You're gonna have to rewind.
Yeah. You have to roll back a little bit. Roll back that.
Roll it back.
Yeah. As I look on my list, the one that's probably been in there the longest, I would say it's probably Mario 64, actually. It's probably the longest game in my backlog because I wanted to play it ever since the N64 came out because I didn't have an N64 growing up. And because all my friends had N64s, and I decided to get a PlayStation instead. And I made the right choice because I was definitely like getting more into role-playing games at the time. So I played a ton of role-playing games on PlayStation. But all my friends, I would go over to like my friend Scott and friend Evan's house all the time, and we'd play N64 like for hours and hours on end. So I never felt the need to own one myself, but I always wanted to play Mario 64. So that game has basically been sitting there ever since it came out on N64.
All right. If we are talking about other
we're allowed to talk
well.
about other platforms. The thing did not specifically say PlayStation.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Rayman Legends. I have the game.
Okay.
On Switch. I have the physical game.
You should play that on stream.
I have not played it since I bought it. It's just been
man.
sitting in there.
Yeah. Play it on stream.
And
So
I
can
know
see some
what that
koala
game
rage.
entails.
Koala rage. Yeah.
A speedrunning 2D platformer.
Yeah.
You'll be like that person who we saw post the new world record for Super Metroid in the Discord today. It was like 40 minutes or whatever. That's ridiculous.
Wow.
Wow.
I'm not a speedrunner. No
Absolutely
way.
wild.
Yeah. All right, next up, we got Croco Kyle who says, also, interesting point, we all picked non-PlayStation games because Ron picked a Sega Genesis game, I picked an N64 game, and then you picked a Switch game. So.
Yeah.
But also that's just a testament to just how long Nintendo's or Sega, their old games have been around.
Exactly.
And us being older folks, right, Ron?
Yes.
So I think that makes sense. Yeah. For God's sakes, we remember Netscape Navigator. Next up, Croco Kyle says, with Sean selling his guitar for a PlayStation 5 and Lockliff getting an Xbox Series S, does this mean Ron completes the trifecta by re-entering the Nintendo ecosystem with the Nintendo Switch 2 when it releases this year?
Not going to happen. Not going to
That'll
happen.
be something.
Yeah, you ain't lying. You ain't lying. Sorry, Kyle. Nintendo has not spoke to me in ages. Years. There's nothing that is upcoming or anything rumored that would sit there and get me to drop money on that. That would be a waste of my time and money. No, thank you.
All right, but what if the Switch 2 brings out something that gets you interested?
It ain't going to happen.
You
It ain't
don't
going
know
to happen.
You
I
don't
do.
know that.
I do. Zelda ain't going to get the job done. Mario ain't going to get the job done. Xenoblade sure as hell ain't going to get the job done.
What about Metroid Prime 4, Ron? It's right there.
You know what? I'm not going to sit there and buy a whole system for one game. As much as I love Metroid, especially the Prime series. But, yeah, not going to happen. No thanks.
Yeah, I was
And we,
gonna say,
and we need to
not
clarify.
a-
Sean doesn't have that PS5 anymore. We need to put that out there.
Oh, I know. Yeah. He did get rid of it because he also already has a PlayStation 5. And he had two of them for some reason. Yeah. What about the next Animal Crossing, McBeal says?
No, big deal.
Next question.
I watched Lachlan and Koala play it. No, I haven't played Animal Crossing since GameCube. And as much as I enjoyed it, it ain't gonna happen.
Yep. Next up, we got King Riley Smiley, who asks, "Hey y'all, what's an unattainable platinum trophy that you don't have but you really, really want?" For me, it's Fall Guys. I have every trophy but one, and it's a trophy where you need to win 5 crowns in a row, which is nearly impossible from here. I've won 3 in a row. That's as close as I'm ever going to probably get. Hoping one day I'll get it. Would love to have that platinum. So I'm just going to get this out of the way real quick before I go to YouTube, because this is the most obvious one in the world for anyone who knows me or has been listening to the podcast for a long time, the Final Fantasy 14 platinum.
Yep, I do it.
I really want that platinum, but I'm never getting it because I have to put at least 500 hours and just devote it to just content that I don't want to have to do in order to get it. Because I've already met the requirements for like the other half of the trophy list, but I haven't done like all the fates, like doing like 10,000 fates or something, which is ridiculous. That would take at least 500 hours just to probably even get that one trophy. So no, I wish I had the Final Fantasy 14 platinum. You know, it says a lot about a game when I've played it for over 7,000 hours and I don't have the platinum trophy. So there you go. And in fact, when they redid the platinum trophy, because the platinum trophy was actually different for the PlayStation 3 version of Final Fantasy 14, when they redid the platinum trophy, they actually made it even harder to get. So like it only took about, like 1,000 hours to get before, but it takes even longer to get now. So there you go. Ron, what about you? What's the unattainable platinum that you really want, man?
I'll probably say South Park Fractured But Whole. There's only one trophy that I need to get the platinum. But even though the game was good, I'm not the biggest fan of strategy RPGs like that. And even though that's not a, hardcore strategy RPG, going through that game again on the Mastermind difficulty, no thanks. I hate difficulty trophies for the most part. And I could not see myself playing through that game again on Mastermind just to get that one trophy. So, yeah. It's just
similar to what we talked about with Life is Strange as well, because it's just like, do you really want to replay an entire game again just for a platinum?
Yeah. Yeah, it just doesn't... Nah, I got other things to play. It just doesn't sit well with me. So, it's sitting there, just kind of just won that one trophy. That's all I need, but yeah, nah. No thank you.
Okay. Fulia, what about you?
The one trophy I would love to get, but it's not going to happen, Final Fantasy 16. I really love that game, and I love the story, but because of the difficulty aspect of the trophies...
The Final Fantasy mode specifically, probably, right?
It's not going to happen with me. I rage enough just in the in the normal mode.
It's so great. So great, though.
Yeah, I don't need that extra rage, frustration to then hate the game. So yeah, that's definitely not going to happen for me.
Also,
as much as I want it.
I'm so jealous of Kiku, who chimes in and says, "I have the original platinum for Final Fantasy 14." Which is great.
She was on that like a machine when that thing first came out.
Yeah. Also, I love Tim Pellin's one here, because this is when I thought about it, is playing Uncharted on crushing for the platinum. That's another one where it's like, especially because like the super hard difficulties for Uncharted aren't even that hard. You just have super bullet spongy enemies.
Bullet sponges, yeah.
Like they don't up the difficulty except by making the enemies have twice the health, and it's so annoying for those games.
No.
Yeah. So unfortunately, Fulia, when you get a chance to play Uncharted 2, probably not going to get the platinum for it.
No, I didn't even get the platinum for Drake's Fortune, so it's fine. Not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's all right. Understandable.
But you got to get some platinums to catch up to Ron or Matt,
I was thinking you got to catch up to Matt. I don't have any.
I was going to say, I forgot.
Winning.
You and I are in the same boat, Ron. Neither of us have either one. Have a one yet, so.
Yeah. I don't see that happening no time soon. It's not going to happen with Baldur's Gate, and it sure ain't going to happen with Daybreak 2, so.
And I'm not. I already told you I'm not going back and getting the Life is Strange one until I want to play it again. So.
Yeah.
I got you.
Matt is currently the king of platinums right now.
He is the royal squirrelness, just like Koala said in the PSD channel.
Yep. All right. Next up, we got Black Wyver, who says 2025 is going to be the year of oldie. Yes, he put old with an E at the end. Games for me. Most likely, he puts in brackets. I think I've got quite a decent backlog already, but I couldn't help myself and bought Red Dead Redemption 2 from Facebook Marketplace. It was super cheap. I've never played it before, so what are some easy tips you'd share with a newcomer to Red Dead Redemption 2? And number 2, what do you think about the game? I'm just going to go ahead and just say that I hate Red Dead Redemption 2. I don't like that game at all. So I don't really have any tips for you because I don't like that game. It was just too slow in plotting for me. And it was such a pain to do anything in that game that it was not for me. But at the same time, I understand why people like that game, but it's definitely not a Ryan Turford game. So, yeah. What about you, Ron? I don't think you even played Red Dead Redemption 1 or 2. So I don't think you have anything on there.
Never have. Don't think I ever will.
Yeah. Ron?
Ryan, I'm in the same boat with you. It's one of those things where it was a pain to sit there and just do anything. The survival and the micromanaging stuff, and it's just.
Yep.
The first Red Dead Redemption was one of my goats until Ghost knocked it off the throne. It didn't have all that stuff. It was just a fun game, great story, great characters, wackiness, and I enjoyed the gameplay of it. It's like Red Dead 2 is just like I don't know what they were trying to do with that one. It was just one of those things where I was like, it just didn't work. It just didn't work for me. I'm not trying to go in there and worry about, feeding everybody and making sure I race back to camp to sit there and make sure my skins don't go bad and all the kind of stuff. I was like, I'm not here for this. Making sure I smoke enough so my Deadeye works. And
I think it's not. I think it's just not for us. I don't think it's a bad game. I think it's for people.
I would never say it's
really
bad. It's just the mechanics aren't there.
It's a game that's for the people that like survival games or games that are rooted in reality, that are trying to emulate reality in all the ways possible. Because it's probably the closest thing to a real life Wild West simulator that probably exists out there.
Yeah. If
and also
Rockstar had let me turn off some of that stuff, I probably would have rolled with it. Because I watched the Let's Play of it. I enjoyed the story. It's just that I just not enjoy playing it, which is very weird for a Rockstar game for me.
Exactly. I think it was too cumbersome and clunky for someone like me. But like I said, I think for a certain segment of people, I think they really like it. Like Tim, who mentions that he beat it twice and he loves westerns. So I think that plays into it a little bit too. Whereas I don't. I'm not really.
I love westerns too. That's why it hurt my heart to drop it. It's just I even went back to it to try it again, and it just didn't click with me.
Yeah. And I originally had it on my checklist for when I was doing the draft for my video game goals for this year. I had it on my checklist to maybe retry it, but then I was thinking about it again, and I was just like, never mind. I already know how that's going to turn out. So I decided not to. Yeah. But Black Wyvern. Honestly, though, I really hope you enjoy it. Despite everything that Ron and I just said, how much we don't are really into that game, I know that there are a lot of people that do like that game, like Tim. And I hope that you really enjoy that game.
Yeah, I hope he does.
You just got. Yeah. But if not, at least it was cheap, right? So, all right. Final question of the week comes to us from Kiku, who says, do you think you're ever going to get through your entire backlog? Mine sits at about 490 plus games. That's very specific.
490? Jeez.
Yeah. So it will never probably happen to me in my lifetime. Do you think we will ever get through our backlogs? For me, I think the answer is probably no as well, because as I showed you, there's a lot of games in my backlog, and I actually think the number is probably closer to Kiku's than what is on that spreadsheet I showed you guys. So I actually think there's no way I'm going to do that, especially because there was so much time in my life that I've kind of wasted. Well, I shouldn't say wasted because I enjoyed my time playing them, but just spent playing live service games, playing World of Warcraft, playing Final Fantasy 14, and other games like that. That, if I probably would have devoted that time to playing other games instead, then yeah, I probably would have gotten through most of the games that were on my backlog by now, or in my lifetime, because I know that I'm going to go back to those games at some point too. So it's just like that. I'm taking a temporary reprieve from those now, but that's going to kind of come back around again at some point. So I personally don't think, unless I become a vampire and I can live for another 200 more years, then I might be able to get through my entire backlog. But then you'll then pile up a whole new list of games on top of that, living for those 200 years. So it's kind of like a never-ending cycle in a lot of ways. So personally, I don't think I'm ever going to chip away completely on my backlog. And you know what? I can live with that, and I'm okay with that. But Fuya, what about you? Do you think you can ever get through your backlog of games?
I mean, considering the number of indie games I've got on there, a lot of them are quite short, so I might actually be able to get through a lot of it. Maybe not specifically this year, but just over time, I'll definitely be able to get through majority of them. I'm more concerned about the bigger games, like the RPGs and the really big action adventure games that I have on my backlog that I really want to get to. But I think that's more of I just need to dedicate time to them. So the other problem is, like, even though I have set myself a limit this year, after this year, who knows what's going to happen? And every time I remove one from my backlog and it's been completed, I'm probably going to end up adding more onto it. So
yeah, it's the same boat that I said. Yeah, like,
it's a never-ending cycle. So I don't think it's going to happen. But who knows? We'll see. I might be able to whittle it down so that it's a lower number, but I just probably won't be able to get through it all.
I love this response from Tim Paullin, who says, Ryan, makes a lot of sense. If I had the time back from Madden alone. Yeah, because there are a lot of games that we have like that. Like even before I was playing like World of Warcraft or other MMOs, like I played so much Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter with myself, my cousin, my girlfriend at the time. Like we played for hours and hours and hours upon end every single night on Xbox Live. And it was ridiculous. Like I wasn't playing other games really at that point. So there are games like that stick out to me. Or when I was when I was like in kind of like full esports mode, playing StarCraft 2, and I was playing in Pro League, or when I was like at the top of the leaderboards for Jedi Knight 2, like basically for the entire year of 1998, I didn't play other games. I only played that game. So yeah, there are times where like I wish I could kind of turn the clock back and play some more stuff that I kind of missed back then. But Ron, how about you, man?
It's 121 games on the backlog as of right now. I had got close to getting that down, like toward, I think like maybe about summer. I think I had about like down to about 100, but then I bought several games last year. It comes back to what Koala said. Yeah, you can beat quite a few games, and then you're going to add them back as you buy stuff throughout the year. Yeah. So, yeah, it would be nice, but I'm the same as Ryan. I am perfectly fine knowing that I am not going to sit there and conquer that backlog. That's the wheel will pick what it chooses, and whatever it gets to, and whatever's left behind, I mean, it is what it is.
Yep. Especially because, like, now there's just so much stuff that comes out now. Like, it's impossible to keep up with everything.
The last 2 years especially was ridiculous.
Yeah. And, I mean, it's the same with other mediums, too. Like, there's so much new music. There's so many new movies coming out all the time. There's so many TV shows that are coming out. Like, you can't keep up with everything.
Yeah,
like, even if you're like the
now,
most,
unless you just sit there and just strictly just do nothing but gaming. But I'd watch TV.
But even then,
go out,
even then, I don't think you can really even do that. Like, if you're one of those people that are like at the top of the world, as far as like getting for the leaderboards for achievement points, as an example, because there are the people out there, Ron, that have like they all they do is play games to get all the achievement points and have them go in there. Like, even those people don't play everything. There's still stuff that you're missing out on that they probably want to play, right? Like, I think that's just a rule. Like, you just can't play everything now that comes out. There's just too much stuff that releases. I think you could do that in the 90s when there wasn't as many games that were out. But I think now you get so much stuff, even just on the indie side with Fuya. Like, you know how many indie games come out every single week. Like,
so many games.
You can't play everything, and that's okay. Yeah.
The other thing I will also mention is I don't know if it really depends on the person too, but there might come a time where you just go through a phase of not playing games at all. Yeah. And it's like they just sit there.
It can happen.
What do you do? And
plus, gaming used to have quite a few more droughts where you were able to kind of catch up to your backlog a little bit. But we haven't had a drought in a minute.
Yeah. Like every month there's something.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Well, anyways, I think that's going to do it for this week's episode of the PlayStation Drive. But before we go, we got to say thank you to all of our patrons over at patreon.com/carpoolgaming, starting with our ultimate producers, Jonathan Brown, the man behind the music on our podcast, as well as the Xbox Drive. You can find his link tree over at linktr.ee/pme.jib, or if you load up your Netscape Navigator browser, you can go to the address bar, click on it, and type in https://linktr.ee/pme.jib. Of course, the deluxe edition of his new album, Me, Myself, and I, is out right now, including a track with a $2 hero. Who I think we know that person.
Yeah.
Is the Wise Sage, is he spitting on there?
Yeah.
He's on one of the tracks.
He's on a track, yeah.
He actually talked about it on Nintendo Drive this week, so make sure to go check that out. That is on the deluxe version's out now. And of course, Jonathan does awesome music, including our theme song.
He does.
So make sure to check him out. Cwagmire, who humbly reminds you that the best babes are in fact Xenobabes, and TechMike, who says whether you're Kevesi or Agnian, you're a Xenobabe at heart.
That's
links
right.
Links to all of our
all
ultimate
bad.
producers can always be found in the description of our podcast. And yes, I know we caught some flack about that, but I'm going to continue to say it like that. And that's just the way it's going to be. Our platinum producers, Smokin Joe, Solo, the Captain, and Tim Paullin, and our gold members, Adam K, Anna, Awesome Dave, 1337, Brad Moore, Brian Reese, Cecily Carrozza, Dan and Luma, Dannohh, Emily Kelly, John 32, Liger Woods 330, OldMrFrump, Patrice Mallette, PAP, Riley King, Shane Erickson, Stephen Keller, TheDonRob, the Jiggy Collector, and Toxic. Huge thank you once again to all of our patrons over at patreon.com/carpoolgaming. If you want to hop in the car with us, head on over there, choose the tier that's right for you. And now, Ron, plugs go.
Savoy Prime on all the things. PSN, Xbox, Steam, Backlogged, PSN Profiles, True Trophies, and Blue Sky.
Nice. Fulia, where can people find you?
You can also find me on socials at Foolish Fuji, Blue Sky, and Instagram. You can also find me over on YouTube and Twitch at Foolish Fuji. And you can find me playing Horizon Zero Dawn over on the Carpool Gaming Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Carpool Gaming Live, once a week as of this week. So keep you posted on the day for that one. But everything else, you can also check out my backlog, backlog.com/Foolish Fuji, and you can check out all the games that are in my backlog.
I was just going to say, you wrote a little review this week for
I did.
The photography game you talked about.
Yeah, for Shashingo, yeah. And I do keep up with it because that's also where I post all of the games that I've played, and I try to make it a point to review them as I go. So
Yeah, same.
go check that out. And you can also, everything else, foolishfuji.com, or just for you guys, foolishfuji.card.co.
Card.co. Of course. Well, as for me, you can't really find me on social media at all because I'm not on social media, but you can find me in the Discord at Ryan Turford. I'm also on Backlog, as Fulia mentioned, over on there at Ryan Turford, where of course I'm also chronicling all the games I've played this year, as well as writing little mini reviews for each individual game. In fact, double exposure leads me to, I think I've beaten 8 games this year so far. Okay. So I feel like I've got like I'm on a good streak right now. Good streak going right now.
Nice job.
Yeah. Also, he's not here tonight, but I want to give a shout out, of course, to Matt. You can find him over at on all the things at Nagachaka, whether it's on the Discord. I think he's also on Blue Sky and Twitter as well. You can go check him out over there, Nagachaka as well. So for Fulia, Ron, Matt, who's at home, and Ryan, this has been the PlayStation Drive episode 184. Only 16 more episodes before episode 200, and we're out. Good night, everybody.
Adios, friends. Thanks for checking out this week's episode of the PlayStation Drive. Now, before you drive off, please make sure to like and subscribe on YouTube and follow us at Carpool Gaming on socials. Don't forget to check out our awesome merch on carpoolgaming.com, and you can also support the show on Patreon at patreon.com/carpoolgaming, where you'll unlock all kinds of exclusive content. Links to everything are in the description.